Welcome, mtg-portal, to Spellheart Chimera in the Pauper E.D.H Deck Tech format. Today, we are going to be taking a close, in-depth look at Spellheart Chimera. So sit back, enjoy, and let me know what you guys think of this Pauper E.D.H Deck Tech. Alright guys, starting out with creatures. Now keep in mind as we go through this Pauper E.D.H Deck Tech format, you will see some cards with an uncommon symbol. At some point they were printed as common and they can be used. First up is Delver of Secrets. At 1 blue, it's a 1/1 human wizard. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If an instant or sorcerer card is revealed, flip Delver of Secrets. He flips into Insectile Aberration, which is a 3/2 flying human insect. Next up is Aeromancer, a 2 colorless 2 blue for a 1/2 human wizard, which enables you to bounce back an instant or sorcerer card from your graveyard when he enters the battlefield. We also have Goblin Electromancer at 1 blue and 1 red for a 2/2 wizard. Instants and sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. Colorless mana. We also have E.D.H Chronarch at 3 colorless of blue and red for a 2/2 human wizard. When E.D.H Chronarch enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, similar to Aeromancer. We Dragnaughts at 1 colorless of blue and a red for a 1/3 fairy wizard with flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, We Dragnaughts does get +2/+0 till end of turn. And last but not least, Valkrut Predator. 2 colorless and a red for a 2/2 elemental with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Valkrut Predator gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Some very powerful creatures to start us out with. Alright, mtg-portal. Next up, we've got our Scribe blocks. Let's see what we got. We're going to be starting out with 2 cards. One is Ponder. At 1 blue, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. You may shuffle your library if you choose and draw a card. Following suit with that, we do have Preordain at 1 blue. Scry 2, then draw a card. Again, great way to set your deck up for what you need and get rid of what you don't. Next up, we're moving into our card draw block, and for that, we're going to start this out with Frantic Research. At 2 colorless and a blue, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Untap up to 3 lands. It is free and it's great card acceleration. Brainstorm at 1 blue, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order, essentially allowing you to set the deck the way you need it. We've also got Impulse at 1 blue and a colorless. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Again, getting rid of those useless cards. We also have See Beyond at 1 colorless and a blue. Draw 2 cards, then shuffle a card from your hand into your library. We are also running Scrum Visions at 1 blue. Draw a card and scry 2. Again, allowing you to draw that card and scry that deck. We also have Anticipate at 1 colorless, 1 blue. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Compulsive Research coming in at 2 colorless and a blue. Target player draws 3 cards, then that player discards 2 cards unless he or she discards a land card. Great way to keep cards if you need them, get rid if you don't. Catalog at 2 colorless and a blue. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Great way to pitch for Madness. We have a lot of cards in this deck that are pitchable to Madness, so Catalog works well. Artificer's Epiphany, 2 colorless and a blue. Draw 2 cards. If you control no artifacts, discard a card. Well, we have quite a few artifacts, so we don't have to worry about that. And last but not least, we have Tormenting Voice. At 1 colorless and a red is an additional cost to cast Tormenting Voice, discard a card, and draw 2 cards. Another Madness enabler. Alright, next up we're going to be going over the burn block, and we're going to be starting this out with Burst Lightning, coming in at 1 red with a kicker of 4 colorless. Burst Lightning deals 2 damage to target creature or player. If Burst Lightning was kicked, it deals 4 damage instead. Next up, Incinerate at 1 colorless and a red. Incinerate deals 3 damage to target creature or player. A creature dealt damage this way cannot be regenerated. Great synergy, wonderful card. Lightning Bolt at 1 red. Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage to target creature and or player. Another wonderful card. Yes, it is showed as uncommon, but it was printed as common. Next we have Lightning Strike at 1 colorless and a red. Lightning Strike deals 3 damage to target creature and or player. Smash to Smithereens at 1 colorless and a red. Destroy target artifact. Smash to Smithereens deals 3 damage to that artifact's controller. Great way to get rid of artifacts we don't want our opponents to have. Stagger Shock at 2 colorless and a red. Stagger Shock deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and it has Rebound, which means it gets exiled and recast for free at your next upkeep. Flame Rift for 1 colorless and a red, dealing 4 damage to each player on the board. So if you're playing a mass E.D.H in Pauper format, you're going to deal 4 damage to all players. Karvik's Torch at X in red. As long as Karvik's Torch is on the stack, spells that target it cost 2 more to cast. Karvik's Torch deals X damage to target creature and or player. Great way to finish out the game if you have a lot of extra mana and you just need a quick burn. Lava Spike at 1 red. Lava Spike deals 3 damage to target player. Another quick way to deal some immediate burn damage to a player. We've also got Pillar of Flames at 1 red. Pillar of Flames deals 2 damage to target creature or player. If a creature dealt damage this way would die, exile it instead of putting it in their graveyard. Another great card to get rid of creatures we don't want. Speaking of that, we have Shock at 1 red. Shock's dealing 2 damage to target creature and or player. We also have Lightning Javelin at 3 colorless and a red. Lightning Javelin deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you get to scry 1, setting your deck for your following turn. Fiery Temper coming in 1 colorless and 2 red. Fiery Temper is dealing 3 damage to target creature or player, and it does have a Madness Enabler of 1 red, so for cards forcing you to discard, you can play this for its Madness cost. Structural Distortion at 3 colorless and a red. You're going to exile target artifact or land, and the Structural Distortion will deal 2 damage to that permanent's controller. Great way to clear the board of what you don't want, and do some quick shock damage. And last but not least, Touch of the Void at 2 colorless and a red. It is Devoid. Touch of the Void deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and if a creature would die this way, you exile it instead of putting it in their graveyard. Altogether, great burn cards to deal direct damage to your opponent, keep creatures off the board, and enable you to win this game. Alright, next up we're going to go over our bounce block. We got quite a few bounce cards, all with great synergy, starting out with Capsize, 1 colorless and 2 blue with a buyback of 3 colorless, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Get it off the board, we don't want it there. We've also got Snap. Aw, Snap, 1 colorless and a blue, return target creature to its owner's hand, and you one-tap 2 lands, so yes, it's free. We also have Void Snare at 1 blue, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Repeal with X in blue, return target non-land permanent with converted mana cost of X to its owner's hand and draw a card. Great way to get it off the board and get some card draw. Voyage's End, 1 colorless and a blue, return target creature to its owner's hand and you scry 1. Again, setting your deck so you make sure you have those cards you need. Clutch of Currents at 1 blue, return target creature to its owner's hand for an awoken cost of 4 colorless and a blue. If you pay the awoken, you put 3 counters on a 0/0 land, and it becomes an elemental creature. Just the Wind at 1 colorless and a blue, return target creature to its owner's hand, and you can pitch it for 1 blue and a Madness cost. All in all, great ways to get the cards you don't want off the board quickly and then counter them so they don't come back. Alright, next up is our counterspell block, or what I like to call the no-go zone. That's right, you ain't going nowhere. First up on the no-go zone is Condescend at X and a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X, and you get to scry 2. Love it! Next up is our normal counterspell at 2 blue, counter target spell. Doesn't get better than that. Mana Leak at 1 colorless and a blue, counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. Great to screw them when you watch him tap the last of their mana. Lovely. Muddle the Mixture at 2 blue, counter target instant or sorcery spell with a transmute of 1 colorless 2 blue. Another great ability to add to the deck. Dispel, 1 blue, counter target instant spell. We also have Cancel at 1 colorless 2 blue, counter target spell. Negate at 1 colorless and a blue, counter target non-creature spell. We also have Spell Shrivel at 2 colorless and a blue with Devoid, counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it in their graveyard. Dirty! Deny Existence at 2 colorless and a blue, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it. It does not go in the graveyard. You do not pass go. You go away. Go. Rakashaw's Disdain, 2 colorless and a blue, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. Good luck. Stoic Rebuttal at 1 colorless 2 blue, Metalcraft. Stoic Rebuttal costs 1 less to cast if you control 3 or more artifacts and counter target spell. Annul with 1 blue, counter target artifact or enchantment spell. Great way to stop those pesky enchantments. And last but not least, we have Neutralizing Blast. 1 colorless of blue, counter target multicolored spell. No commanders for you. Nope. Just die. Please. Alright, next up is our artifact block. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Starting out with Is it Signet? 2 colorless. Tap it with 1 colorless. Add blue and red to your mana pool. Thought Vessel. 2 colorless. You have no maximum hand size. Tap it. Add 1 colorless to your mana pool. Explosive Apparatus. 1 colorless. Tap it. Deal 2 damage to target creature or player. Whisper Silk Cloak at 3 colorless. Equipped creature is unblockable and has Shroud with a 2 equip cost. I said no, you shall not touch my commander. Don't. Like, really, he doesn't like that. Please, stop. Don't think I don't see you trying to touch my commander, dirty dog, you. Alright, anyways, let's dive right into the Aura's block. Got some fun cards, a little bit of creature stall, and some pump. We're going to start it out with Claustrophobia. 1 colorless, 2 blue. It is an enchant aura. Claustrophobia enters the battlefield. You tap enchanted creature. It never untaps again. Sorry. Bye-bye. We also have Containment Membrane. 2 colorless and a blue. It is an enchant aura with Surge of blue. You can cast it for 1 blue if you played another spell or a teammate played a spell. Does the same thing as Claustrophobia. Goblin Warpaint. 1 colorless red. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has haste. Arr, my commander, get mightier. Not like he doesn't already have 30-inch, other cards in the graveyard. Jeskai Runemark. It's 2 colorless and a blue. Also gives target creature +2/+2, and it has flying as long as you control a red or white permanent, which we do. And then we have a Senseless Rage. 1 colorless and a red. Enchant creature gets +2/+2, and it is a Madness Pitcher. For 1 colorless and a red, you can play it for its Madness cost. Things get nasty. Love it. Next up, we have Enchantments. We only have 1 in the deck, but it is quite fitting. Trust me, you'll like it. I like it. It's called Heuristic Study. 2 colorless and a blue. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1. Do you hate me yet? Yeah, you do. Pay your damn taxes. Pay them. Pay them now or I'm drawing a card to infinity. Sorry, it's just going to happen. They'll get used to it, and you guys will enjoy it. Good stuff. Alright, next up is our lands. Very quick. This is going to be the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. We do have Command Tower. Very universal for all E.D.H decks. Everyone knows what it does. If you don't, look it up. Forgotten Cave. Adds red. I prefer you pay 2 colorless and cycle it for a better card. We also have Lonely Sandbar. Adding blue. Prefer you cycle it for a better card. You guessed it. Remote Island. Adding blue. Prefer you cycle it for a better card. And last for the cycling blocks, Smoldering Crater. Adding red, again, prefer you cycle it for a better card. We also have Halimar Depths coming into battlefield tapped. When it comes to player, look at the top 3, adds blue. Is it Guildgate, adding blue or red to your mana pool. And last but not least, we are running 15 islands, and you are running 14 mountains.